So anyway, today the classroom has changed. I am in college today. Okay, and before the class there was a meeting. It's okay now. Huh? Anyway, this anyway I am going to. I have sent the theory part in Google Classroom. I hope you might have received it already.
Yes, sir.
You can refer the same, and if you have any doubts, you can call me back always. Thank you for reminding to record. Now I will solve the numericals in that. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so I hope my voice is clear. Okay, so then we'll go ahead and compute. Okay, call. Okay, one of the problems on a dividend approach for calculating cost of equity capital. So I have from hello. Yeah. So cost of equity capital using dividend approach. So I hope you remember the equation. This is PO is used to find out the current market price of equity share. In some problems, even this is asked. Okay. And to calculate cost of equity capital under dividend approach, we use this equation KE is equal to D1 divided by P0 plus okay G. So where D1 is expected dividend per share, P0 is net proceeds per share or current market price, and G is growth in expected dividends. Okay, so we'll consider a simple example. Suppose that dividend per share of a firm is expected to 1 rupee next year. Okay, so suppose that dividend per share of a firm is expected to 1 rupee next year and is expected to grow 6% per year perpetually. So D1 is 1 rupees and G is 6%. We can convert it into decimals 0.06. So determine the cost of equity capital, assuming that the market price per share is 25. So PO is 25. Also calculate expected market value of share, means price of expected price of equity share at the end of year 1 and year 2. So as we said, the market price of equity share is sensitive to the expected dividend, okay, from the same shares. So we can also calculate the market price of equity shares at the end of year 1 and 2. Okay. So this is a situation where dividends are expected to grow at a uniform rate perpetually. Means each year dividend growth will happen only at the rate of 6%. So we'll use the equation KE is equal to D1 divided by P0 plus G. So D1 is expected dividend, which is 1 rupee. Then PO is a current market price of equity share, which is 25 rupees. And G, growth rate in dividend is 6%. So we can convert it into decimals. It will become 0.06. So 1 divided by 25 plus 0.06 is equal to 0.1. If we multiply that by 100, okay, so the cost of equity capital, what we will get is 10%. So this is quite simple, okay, because all the data is readily available. So with this, I will go to the second part of the problem, which is slightly complicated. So I request your attention. So we have been also asked to also calculate expected market value of share, means market price of equity share at the end of year 1 and year 2 separately. So we are going to calculate Okay, the equity share price at the end of year one. So where we are going to use this formula, P0 is equal to D1 divided by KE minus G. Okay, so KE is equal to D1 divided by P0 plus G. So D1 here is nothing but, okay, the dividend expected. The dividend per share expected is 1 rupees next year. Means after year 1, the dividend expected is 1 rupee. So we denote it as D1. That is the only change. Otherwise, the equation is same. So KE is equal to D1 divided by P0 plus G. So D1 is dividend expected. Okay. Dividend per share of the firm is expected to be 1 rupee next year. So D1 is 1 rupee. Then PO, okay, current market price is 25 rupees. We have to find out the market price of equity share at the end of first year. Then G is 6%, 0.06. Okay, sorry, I'm here. So D2, so P1 is, I'm sorry, okay, so I just browsed through the same equation. So please pay attention here. Just forget what I told. What we have to find out is the share price at the end of year one. So the equation is actually P0, if you remember, P0, okay, is equal to D1 divided by KE minus G. Okay, so here we rewrite it as a P1 instead of P0, P1, because we want to, P1 is nothing but the price of equity share at the end of year one. Okay, and D2, okay, is a dividend, okay, to be paid or expected after 1 year. Okay, so divided by KE minus G. So D2, okay, at the end of year one, the share, okay, the dividend expected on this equity share is 1 rupee. Okay, so what will be the dividend year 1 year after that? So 1 plus 0.06, because the growth in dividend is going to happen at the rate of 6%. So 6% of 1 rupee is 0.06 paise. Okay, so I repeat, D1 is the dividend expected next year. Okay, so year after that, okay. So what dividend expected after second year we will require here. So dividend expected after second year, which is dividend expected for next year in calculating the price of equity share after year one. So at the end of 1 year, the expected dividend is 1 rupee. And at the end of second year, okay, this dividend will grow at the rate of 6%. So we have to add 6% of 1 rupee. 6% of 1 rupee is 0.06 paise. So the dividend expected at the end of the second year is 1.06 rupees. Okay, so D2 we found. And KE is nothing but cost of equity capital, which is 10%, which you have already calculated here. So which can be rewritten in decimals as 0.10 minus G. G is 0.06. So 0.1 minus 0.06. So if you simplify this properly, so you will get the amount as 26 rupee 50 paise will be the expected price of the equity share at the end of year one. So to calculate the price of equity share at the end of year one, we consider the expected dividend at the end of year two, 1 year in advance. Now, if this is simple, okay, so you can clarify it once again. You can verify whatever we have learned. So, market share price at the end of year two. So, it is denoted by P2. P2 is nothing but share price at the end of year two is equal to D3 divided by KE minus G. Now D3 is, so P2 is equity share price at the end of year 2. So for which we will require a dividend expected after third year. Okay, so the dividend pay expected after 2 years is 1.06. which we have calculated here. So to this we have to add further 6% growth. So 1.06 plus, okay, 0.06, 6% of 1.06, okay, 6% of 1.06 is 1.12, okay, sorry, the 6% of 1 is 0.06, which we need to add to this. So 1.06 plus 0.06 is equal to 1.12 is D3, expected dividend at the end of year 3. Then KE is a 10%, written in decimals as 0.1, and G is 0.06. Okay, so when we fill the equation, 1.12, D3 is 1.12 divided by KE, okay, minus G. Okay, so 0.1 plus 0.06. Okay, so is equal to rupees 28. Okay, see here we add. Okay, so here, okay, one, just let me check it whether there is an error here from the notebook. But anyway, so once we simplify this equation, okay, the answer we get is 28 rupees equity share price at the end of year 2. Okay, so I hope 3 minutes are remaining. Okay, so I'll just so it is 0.10 minus 0.06. Okay, so if you simplify this, okay, the amount you get is rupees 28. 28 is the share price, okay, at the end of year 2. Okay, now what we found, first we found the cost of equity capital, okay, then we found share price at the end of year 1 and share price, that is equity share price at the end of year 2. Okay, so 1 minute, okay, 1 minute time is remaining. So if you have any doubts, you can ask at the beginning of next session, which I'll begin at 11 sharp once this meeting is converted into a video. Okay, but in the meanwhile, if any small feedback you want to give regarding voice or quality of video, so please let me know. I'm going to unmute you all. Okay, I'm going to end the meeting now. If you have any doubts, you can ask me at the beginning of second session.